day of Christmas my true love sent to me. 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Hello and welcome to the 3rd day of Christmas. I know I said I was hopefully going to have my sunglasses out, but well, it's been a busy weekend for me, and I have changed plan. Had to change a lot of plans. But I still have time to do this. And today we are reviewing Jack Frost. So this is a film I watched probably when I was 13. Yeah, I think it was 13 I first saw it. In fact, now that I think about it, I don't actually think I saw it at Christmas time when I first saw it. With that said, I didn't think much of it. I thought it was passable. It was okay. It seemed forgettable, but it didn't seem bad. So, but hearing reviews of it years later, a little bit later, and seeing how people think of it, it got me curious whether it was worse than I thought, so I decided I wanted to take another look at it. The thing was, I chose not to do it immediately. I thought I'd just wait for a bit before I look into it. So I decided to take a look at it again this year, and yeah, it was worse than I remembered. Yeah, part of what's interesting for me is when I look back on films I've seen when I was young and I didn't really think much of it, whether they are better than I thought or they're worse. Most of the time they're worse. I often hope that some films turn out better than I thought, but in this case, it did not. So what is the premise? A father who is a musician is often away touring with his band, away from his family, and especially his young son, who he does still have a good relationship with and his family, but he's often touring with his popular band, especially at Christmas time. Considering that they sing rock star remixes of Christmas carols, okay. One Christmas that he's meant to go away, he gives his son a special harmonica that belonged to his own father, saying that whenever he plays the harmonica, he will always be with him in spirit. And while on tour, he decides to return to his family, and well, you can guess, he crashes his car and is killed. And in the year following, his son has grown bitter over the loss of his father. Again, nothing too special, and he has lost a bit of the connection with his mother, or strained relationship, or as well with his godfather, who was bandmates with his dad. And one Christmas night, he decides to play the harmonica, and the spirit of his father comes back from the afterlife to possess a snowman. And well, his name beforehand is Jack Frost, so now he's a snowman called Jack Frost, and he's determined to spend the rest of Christmas with his son to make up for lost time. And oh boy. Okay, can we begin off with the biggest issue with this? Okay, of course there are issues like with the story. You can guess where it's going. The fact that this guy and his band are famous for performing rockstar Christmas remixes of Christmas carols is a really weird idea. Seriously, I think that should have been rewritten. That thing. There had to be a better way of explaining how this band was more successful, because just that is just stupid. And and even in the harmonica, how? Well, how can a harmonica summon his spirit? Like, I get it's a family heirloom, something like that, but I just don't get it. Sorry, I had to look at my notes because I just can't explain the right words for that. And And I don't think you exactly. This isn't exactly what you think of this title. If you're thinking about a father named Jack Frost trying to connect with his son, you're thinking of Jack Frost, the the mythical entity. Give me something like Percy Jackson, the Percy Jackson series, where I don't know. Well, I don't know. There's probably some Santa Claus movies out there where Jack Frost actually has a secret son. He wants to interact with that son. As I said, it's similar to the Percy Jackson series where Poseidon had a son. Doesn't always have to talk with him, but maybe there's some Jack's trying to make up for lost time. That's what you expect, not so much this. Maybe that could explain why he's inhabiting a snowman, because he can't, show his actual self due to laws or something like that. Like say in potentially the next thing I'm going to review. We'll get to that. But the biggest issue of Jack Frost is the visual, the CGI, the effects. In one thing, the snowman he possesses. It looks awful. It's sort of as a mixture of puppetry and CGI. It probably is just all CGI, but it looks like a puppet, a really, really bad puppet. Like a marionette, ventriloquist dummy or something like that. It's nothing like what Edgar Bergen did with Charlie McCarthy and all these other characters. If you don't know who he is, he's a famous ventriloquist puppeteer. One of the inspirations of Jim Henson. Idols, I should say. He's on the Muppet Show and the Muppet movie. So but the design and just the face of this snowman is just so ugly. It can put a lot of people off. Jeez, I don't think I've seen until when I recently resaw it. When I saw it before, I kind of just didn't care too much. Nowadays, the more I do think of it as very cringe. But I think it's just because of the Uncanny Valley. There had to have been a better way of doing a CGI snowman. I just don't think it works with this. And even the design itself, it doesn't help too. So yeah, I will say, with that said, I will give Crops credit. Well, predictable. The ending is sweet, as as the father departs from the snowman, his spirit is briefly seen saying goodbye to both his son and his wife, which just gives us a bit of a few seconds where we don't have to look at the snowman at the end. And to his credit, despite this being a terrible story and script, Michael Keaton does give it his all as the father, Jack Frost. He doesn't. You can tell he's trying, and in many ways he does supply the heart of the movie, and that does seep through. And I find it a lot interesting with Michael Keaton that in some of the bad movies he's in, he often finds a way to break through and provide a little bit of heart and soul, and just he manages to find a way to at least make his part good. More the other actors, I don't really care too much, but Keaton at the very least does do a good job. So yeah, give it up to Keaton. To be honest, I think the only film that I can't really recall a film yet that I've seen of him where I just found him distracting, and I didn't really like him. With the exception of maybe Tim Burton's Dumbo, and I don't know, maybe just how his cameo in Morbius just didn't make really much sense. Yeah. But to be fair, most of his appearance is just CGI and that, but I guess similar to this. Yeah. But anyway, Jack Frost is bad. can't really give any good things to say about this. It's a 3 out of 10 hat stars for me. I will say, if you do like it, enjoy it. And as I said, at the very least, Keen is the best part in this. But I say, if you haven't watched it in years, you're probably gonna get disappointed, like I. It does not age well as you get older, I should say. Either if you continue to watch it over the years, or you take a long break, like I did. So yeah. So what is next? Well, I'm still continuing on with my next film is another one that features Jack Frost, but this time it's the actual, mythical entity. And it's about time I get to this, considering I reviewed the first 2 films over the last 2 years. So, well, time to see how things handle with an escape clause. Yeah, I think you can now guess what my clue is. So in the meantime, this is Hazard from Hazard Reviews out, and I shall see you for my next video. Ciao!